Well, hey there. I'm going to show you how to do my Hydra Stitch. And first I'll tell you about the loom hook I'm using. It's a loom hook I got from We Have a Handle on This. They do not make them anymore, but they have similar ones on Etsy. I'm using an orange loom. It's from the Doris knitting set, which I got on Amazon. They also have it sometimes on eBay. It's just a circle set, a lot like the Nifty Knitter. And the yarn I'm using is, I love this chunky yarn in the color Saturn's Rings, and it's a number 5, 100% acrylic, and I got it at Hobby Lobby. It's their brand, so that's where you probably have to get it. And that's about all. Okay, let's show you the Hydra Stitch. So here's what the stitch looks like from the front. It's a really pretty stitch. And then from the back, and I think of it as a reversible stitch because the back's different, but it's also really nice stitch. And with some yarns and some looms, I actually like this side better. So it just all depends. Okay, so that's how it looks. It doesn't curl. You can see how nice and straight and flat it is. Okay, so let's get going. Now this is a 2-row stitch, and I'll explain how I did the edges. It's a stitch video, so I'm not going to tell you how to make a whole project, but I will give you tips so that you can just use this if you don't feel like waiting for a project video. Okay, now I did a crochet chain cast on, and this cast on will be linked on my channel, so you'll be able to see the cast on. And then I just actually went did 1 row of owl eye, but you could also do 1 row of just knit, and then I went right into the stitch because the stitch doesn't curl. Okay, and then I've got a 2-peg border. I wanted to have some kind of a border for it, mainly because one of these stitches is a long stitch, and I wanted to make sure my border worked with it so that the border wasn't a lot shorter this way than the stitch would be, so that it would be nice and straight and balanced. Okay, so I'll show you what I did. Okay, so row 1 is my roses and chain stitch. So you go over in a U-wrap, knit it off, you come back on the same peg, knit it off going backwards, and then you come back and knit it again going forwards. Very easy as long as you keep it loose, because if you get too tight, of course, it's going to be tight. So you go over in a U-wrap, come back in a U-wrap, and back in a U-wrap again. Okay, U-wrap, back in a U-wrap, and forward in a U-wrap. U-wrap, back in a U-wrap, forward in a U-wrap. U-wrap, back in a U-wrap, forward in a U-wrap. U-wrap, back in a U-wrap, forward in a U-wrap. And this stitch, roses and chains, I use a lot of times in a stitch that I want to get a really nice amount of texture. So there, backwards in the U-wrap, forwards in the U-wrap. Okay, so I want to have 2 stitches on this peg to minimize it to going to there, so that it will be straight. So what I do here is I do an owl eye edge by going over, come back over, but I'm not going to wrap that peg. I just come back over this one again, and then I'm just going to do an E-wrap on this peg because I'm slipping the stitch, which is something I usually do when I have a purl in my project, because purl will make it bumpy sometimes, even if it's has a whole stitch in between. So then I go over this and I come over it again, And then I've got a little bit longer stitch here, which actually blends right in. Okay, now this row, and I think I've already given you a hint, is purl. So you should know how to do the purl, but if you don't, I put my loom hook in here, pull up the yarn, and then take it off the peg and put it back on like that. So I go in, scoop up a loop, put it on the peg. And here it is, up and then on the peg. Okay, and we'll go all the way to the end. There's lots of videos on purl if I didn't show you for long enough to really get it down. I think most of you will all know how to do a purl though. Okay, so now we come over this one in a U-wrap. We come back and go over it frontwards again in a U-wrap, and then we go behind to do the E-wrap, come back over this one, knit it, come back over, knit it, and I'm just going to leave this here because my first knit is a U-wrap. I'm going to come back and frontwards again. And we're back doing the roses and chains stitch. So Hydra Stitch is a 2-row stitch, roses and chains, and purl. Okay, so that's all there is to it. I go to the end and then I come back in the purl again, and as you can see, quite a bit more got done just from doing that. Stitch knits up really quick. So again, there's how it looks on this side, and here's how it looks on this side. And you can see all the texture here, and you can see all the texture there, and you can see here's how the side looks, and the cast on. And I also have the cast off that matches this cast on my channel. If you don't see it right away on the description, scroll down because they'll both be there. So I hope you have a lot of fun with this. It's really nice in the round too. It's just a really nice stitch. It looks pretty much the same in the round too. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, bye.